Mangala Gauri Vrat Katha in English. The story goes, a very long time ago, there lived a merchant named Dharmapal. He was very wealthy and had a beautiful wife. But they were very unhappy as they did not have any children. By a lot of pujas and the grace of God, his wife gave birth to a son, but he was short lived as he was cursed to die of snake bite by the time he turned 16. He was married before he turned 16 and was fortunately saved by his wife, whose mother observed the Mangala Gauri Vrat. The girl's mother, because of her fast, was blessed by a daughter who would never face widowhood. Hence, Dharmapal's son was saved and got a life of 100 years. Thus, all women observed this puja for the long and healthy life of their husbands. The Mangala Gauri fast is observed on every Tuesday of the month of Shravan, usually around July August. As Mondays of this month are the day of worship of Lord Shiva, the Tuesday of this month are the adoration of Mangala Gauri, one of the nine Durga Shobshi. This fast is only observed by women. Mainly, this is done for 16 or 20 Tuesdays. This fast is dedicated to Goddess Parvati. Sri Krishna narrated the story of the importance of performing the Mangala Gauri Vratham that was once told by sage Sutha to sage Saunak and others. He also narrated the way of performing the Mangala Gauri Vratham, which was narrated by sage Narad to Savitri Devi. Krishna told Draupadi, it is the Parashakti, the ultimate power, that is known as Mangala Gauri. The woman who will worship her will never be a widow and would be blessed all the happiness. She would be blessed with all types of Saubhagyam. This should be performed on all Tuesdays of Shravan month. Mangala Gauri is said to reside in all the Mangal Dravya like Pushp, turmeric, kumkum, vermilion, flowers, sandalwood paste, and also in the light that was lit using a wick dipped in cow ghee. There are instances of women who have been living happily by performing this fast. Lord Shiva prayed to Mangala Gauri before going into battle with the demon Tripurasur and killed him in the battle. Because of praying to Mangala Gauri, she became the authority for Tuesday. There is also a king of the Manu clan by the name of Mandu who ruled the earth for a very long time by praying to Mangala Gauri Devi. Krishna told Krishna told Draupadi that he would now tell a story of a lady who, by praying to Mangala Gauri, protected herself from becoming a widow. Long ago, there was a king by the name of Jayapal, who ruled the kingdom of Mahishmati. He had all the eight kinds of wealth but had no children. He was always worried and longing for children. There was no single vrat or worship that was left to his knowledge that he did not perform for children. He prayed to all the gods and worshipped them, but only without any result. Finally, Lord Shiva was moved by his prayers and visited the king as a sage. He seeked offering from the king. Before the queen could bring the offering, the sage left. The queen took time to prepare the offering and the sage left. This happened continuously for 3 days. She narrated this to her husband Jayapal. Jayapal advised her to be prepared with the offering for the next day. The queen was ready with the offering, and as soon as the sage came, she became ready to make the offering. The sage rejected the offering, stating that he cannot take offering from a couple that does not have children. She then prayed to him to suggest a way to have children. The sage told her to listen to what he is saying carefully and asked her to narrate the same to her husband. He said as follows: ask your husband to wear blue colored clothes, Neelam, and go towards east on a blue horse. Ask him to dig at the point where the horse would stop with tiredness. He would find a golden temple. Ask him to pray to Goddess Bhagwati of that temple, and your wish would be fulfilled. King Jaipal followed the advice of the sage and prayed to the goddess. The goddess was moved by the king's worship, and presented herself before him. She offered him a boon and asked him to ask for whatever he wishes. He wished for children. The goddess gave the king a choice between a girl child who would be a widow or a male child who would be a good son but would live for only a short period. The king thought for a while and finally chose for a male child who would help him to overcome the Punnami Narakam. Goddess told him to pluck a fruit from the tree near Lord Ganesha. The king, in greed, plucked all the fruits. But miraculously, all the fruits vanished, and only one fruit was left in the king's hands. Lord Ganesha was angered with the king and cursed him that his son would live only for 16 years and would be killed by a snake bite on his 16th birthday. By eating the fruit, the king and the queen were blessed with a baby boy. They called him Shiva. Once the soldiers of Yam, Lord of Death, came to take the life of the boy, but the queen prayed to them that he is too young and they have not yet seen him grow. Because of the child was a boon of Lord Shiva, the soldiers returned. The boy Shiva saw that his mother was worried and asked her the reason. She narrated him the whole story of his birth and said that he would die at 16. The boy consoled his mother and told that he would visit the temple of Lord Shiva in Kashi, called as Vishveshwara. He asked her he asked her send her brother along with him. Shiva, before going ahead with the journey to Kashi or Varanasi, planted a basil or tulsi plant in the palace and asked her mother to worship that plant. He told that as long as the plant is green and growing, he is out of danger. But as soon as the plants start to dry, it means that he is in danger. On his way to Varanasi, they had to go through the kingdom of Pratishtapannapuram. In a garden, there were few ladies who were plucking flowers in the garden. One lady cursed a girl by the name of Sushila that she would be a widow. The girl Sushila was offended and replied that her mother performs the Mangala Gauri Vratham and hence there would be no widow in their family, and threw the flowers down. Miraculously, the flowers that fell on the ground got attached to the plants as they were before getting plucked. Shiva saw this and was astonished. He realized that this girl has some power, and if he married a girl like this, it would be good. In the adjacent temple, parents of the same girl, Sushila, were worshipping Lord Shiva to help them find a suitable husband for their girl. As they came out of the temple, they saw Shiva, the prince, and thought that he was sent by Lord Shiva, and consulted his maternal uncle who was with him. Sushila and Shiva got married on the same night. In the marriage, Sushila's mother performed the final ritual of the Mangala Gauri Vratham called Udhyapana to Sushila. The newlywed couples slept with celibacy on the bed made of dharba or sanctified grass. In the dream of the girl Sushila, goddess Mangala Gauri appeared her and told that her husband would not live for a long time and would die after today's night. She advised her to do as follows. There would be Krishna, snake, that would come to bite your husband. Place a pot filled with milk in front of it. As soon as the snake enters the pot, tie it tightly with a cloth and give it a vayanam to your mother. Your husband would be saved from getting killed and would live for a long time. Sushila woke up and understood that the goddess was trying to protect her from becoming a widow and followed the instructions. She was ready with the pot, and as said in the dream, a snake came. She kept the pot in front of the snake, and the snake entered into it. She tied the pot with a cloth. Shiva got up and asked his wife to fetch something to eat as he was hungry. She bought him some sweets. While eating, the ring from the finger of Shiva fell down, which he did not see. In the early hours, he remembered that he was on his way to Kashi or Varanasi to pray to Lord Shiva, thinking that by narrating his story to his wife, he would make her unhappy. He left along with his uncle without informing anyone. The next day, when Sushila woke up, she was not able to find her husband. She only found the ring that was mistakenly dropped by her husband and kept it to herself as his memory. Thinking of her husband, she asked her father to build a shelter where food would be served free. Lot of people going through that city would eat in this shelter and leave. Sushila used to wash the feet of all the people who would come to the shelter to eat food. After a year in Kashi or Varanasi, Shiva finally thinks to return to his kingdom. On the way home, he again comes to Pratishthapanapuram. He remembers that he had married the girl from this city, but fearing that he has to die early, does not want to visit the girl. He visits the shelter where food is being served. The girl, while washing the feet, recognizes him, but he pretended not to recognize her. She shows him the ring and also narrates the dream she had. They open the pot which was given as Vayanam to Sushila's mother to find a pearl necklace instead of the snake. They treat the necklace as a blessing from the goddess. Sushila performs the Mangala Gauri Vratham and goes to her in laws along with her husband Shiva. Parents of Shiva have lost their sight, crying for their son, assuming that he was dead. Then she applies the kajal or katuk or the eyeliner which was prepared as part of performing the Mangala Gauri Vratham. As soon as the eyeliner was kept, both the parents were blessed with the eyesight and lived happily ever after. All the people in the kingdom from then onwards performed this vrat and lived happily. Thus, Lord Krishna concludes that by performing this vrat, a woman would never become a widow and would lead a happy and prosperous married life. All those who are listening to this Vrat Katha, please say with me, Jai Ma Mangla Gauri, Jai Ma Mangla Gauri, Jai Ma Mangla Gauri.